Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 13th of December for the Sun or the Ascendant. Now I'm going to give you a broad overview of what to expect, but please stay with me because then I will dive deep and in forensic detail give you the inside track for your particular zodiac sign. This week begins with Mercury moving from the sign of Sagittarius into the earth sign of Capricorn. Now Mercury is very effective in Capricorn, particularly around business matters, but is replaced in the sign of Sagittarius by Mars. Now Mars governs the second decan of Sagittarius, so it's very much at home in this sign. Sagittarius energy is very much to do with being adventurous and pioneering and buccaneering, and the Sun stays in the sign of Sagittarius, and Mercury and Mars are going to be in a semi-sextile this week, which is very enabling, so that's something to really appreciate. I should say that Mercury joins up with Venus and Pluto in Capricorn, so if there are things that we need to grapple with of a more material nature, or it is around a relationship situation where we're looking to get some greater clarity about just how steadfast it is or not, the discussions that can follow from Mercury in that arena, along with Venus and Pluto, can be very helpful. But of course, due to COVID regulations, it's not so easy to think about widening our horizons in a more physical way with the arrival of Mars in Sagittarius. But the Sun this week forges an amazing link to Jupiter. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, so there's a receptivity here. And this angle, the sextile between the Sun and Jupiter, is probably one of the most fortunate ones that can be struck in astrology. So if there is something around a group activity, a wider principle that you're really interested in, that you can come together with people, even if that's not physically possible, perhaps through the internet, the uplifting energy of the Sun and Jupiter really can be something we can all appreciate this week. And for some lucky people, depending on their nativities, their natal charts, this could bring about a real stroke of giant fortune. Now this is a week, of course, when we do have a full moon, and this full moon occurs in the sign of Gemini, which is very fleet-footed, ruled by Mercury, but it's forging a really uplifting link with Jupiter too. So there's a lot to be excited about this week, but it has to be said that Venus does go into retrograde as the week draws to a close, which goes on through to the 29th of January. But there's a lovely link between Uranus and Mercury as the week draws to a close. So if we are thinking about trying to make the most of our resources, an imaginative idea, thinking about something to do with technology that provides a service to others and maybe earns an income to us, can also be something that inspires. So in general, a really sparkling week. But if you're new to my channel, I would be honoured if you'd subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. And if you'd like to order your year 2022 personal forecast, you can do that by clicking on the link beneath this video. You can get a character analysis as well, 30% off, the rest of this year free, or if you order earlier in January, you can get the full 12 months from the point of that order. Gain searing insights into how your personal astrology is evolving in relation to the planets moving in the sky above us. But stay with me for that detailed forecast next. Hello Cancer, and your weekly forecast for week commencing the 13th of December is going to give you an opportunity to showcase your organisational skills, which are often first class. This time it may be around your resources, because with Mars moving into your 6th house, your physical dynamism is boosted, and this is going to give you the extra stamina to cope with the festivities. But the Sun in this location is linking in one of the most receptive ways with Jupiter in your sector of longer term finances. So the way you're moving resources around, sweating your assets, or perhaps using your ingenuity to make Christmas gifts, all of these things can really come to the fore. But of course, Mercury moves on the first day of this week too into your 7th house of relating. But this is an excellent location for Mercury. It helps us to be a bit more detached. The transit through the 6th house, it's just finished, can be a bit brittle. So as the week draws to a close and Mercury links magnificently to Uranus, this could see you having a fantastic connection. It could be a connection of the mind as much as anything else, with someone who inspires you, a bigger concept, a cause, something really exciting can be triggered towards the end of this week by that particular change. But of course, Venus and Pluto are still very close together in your sector of relating to, and came into exact contact at the end of last week. So that's making you think very, very deeply, I feel, about certain relationships in your life. But by the end of this week, Venus goes into a retrograde, so that analysis can become even more profound. You could find yourself wanting to change your approach to one existing relationship. It doesn't have to be a love relationship. Venus governs money. It could be your approach to the world at large. The 7th house is where we compete. It's not just where we interact or get our needs met. It is a very pivot point in our situation. So this can be very dynamic and positive for you, or it could be that you're going to be more reflective and the potential to rethink some of your approaches around relating is to the fore. But of course, we do have a full moon at the end of this week, and it occurs in a very tender part of your situation, the 12th house. And it's pivoting with the sun in your 6th house, those practicalities. So although Mars can give you much more physical energy, and the sun's glorious link to Jupiter, a lot of optimism, it is still important to try to bring into the whole, to find in a holistic way the balance between the more psychological and spiritual domain and that more practical energy that really gives you the chance to shine this week. So whether it's about relating or it's about reorganizing in some way, still stay very much in touch with how things feel.